i-department ilokhuzana iyathembisa sathi bizwa abantu manje khuluma nje kodwa i-department ingekho sikuhlanganiswe manje ukwazi ngithatha uyathembisa khona la ukubonakho kuyaphuma nje but kodwa no we need ukuthi sibe strong le topic senkodini sibe strong because ama-issues alala adinga ukuthi sibe strong siwaphushe umhlonishwa former chairperson, he was trying very hard ukuthi sithi siphuma nge-term of office but iDubuDubu library isimile iyasebenza. When we visited iDubuDubu library sabuka umphakathi amaziko omphakathi adlulayo athi awusabona nina mhlawumbe sabona imoto enaka mhlawumbe izole iqale isebenze lelokhuzana library iqhubeke kunamanje kuyamiwa nje ukuthi akusakuliwe akusasetshenzwa sekudingeka imali sekuwukuthi nokuthi so ingakho ngelikhonisa ukuthi sithole noma reports ama-progress reports and kuzona zonke lezi zinto ukuthi aseyibali ngiyabonga Chairperson.
Shoti what down to that.
Okay, and Honorable Chair, Honorable Member, I think I will start with the point that was raised by the Honorable Paul, saying we would like to celebrate with you in understanding. I think Honorable Kaula will agree, and I think that is the intention. But the reality of what Honorable Paul is raising is that we are bringing in two departments, which we're sitting at two opposite ends in terms of the functioning and including the ages reports. Therefore, we do need colleagues to assist us sometimes to go through some of the issues that are being raised that needs to be resolved during this period. So I think I want to acknowledge that. The second point I would like to acknowledge from the members, it is true that we cannot give things in terms of what you are seeing on our P1. But the context maybe is what we were not able to give out clearly as a department now of sport, arts and culture. The third part is that we also realized that for sports and rec, there were good practices, performance, even around the expenditure, and for marks there were weaknesses, which were clear from the ages report. So putting together the teams, both at every level, the finance team, it's the same team that worked in sports and in arts, and with the hope that we will be able to take what same way performance, we'll be able to take what sports and recreation had in terms of its systems. We did put the policies together that will try and get us to where we're supposed to, and that is what we did in the first quarter. Honorable members, where we got hit hard, that when the department started, which is when I got appointed to act, for 2 months, we did not have a department, if I were to put it that way. The structure had not been approved by DPSA, which meant officials were sitting in two separate departments. The others were sitting in the structure of sports and rec, the others were sitting in the Department of Arts and Culture. I was sitting in the new department alone. The issue of delegation therefore became an issue. You couldn't spend. We had no authority from the PFMA to delegate, nor the MEC, because there were three structures there. It took us 2 months to get it into one department, which was by the end of May. And it's only then that we started to try and push and say we have 1 month to try and achieve, especially around the expenditure. We did spend, but by then our expenditure was minimal because the question was going to be, it would have been resulted in irregular expenditure because we were spending without allocations. We had engagements with Treasury to say, how do they assist us? They also could not have. They said, until you get that approval in terms of your structure, this is the situation. So whatever call we were making, we understood that we were on the line of fire because come the audit time, we also don't want to be found start this department. And I want to we don't want to start with this department with an audit issues at the end. So 2 months we were behind. But in that 2 months, I think what we did was to put the teams together, try and put the policies together, so that by the time we get the approval, the colleagues could start and we could start to push some of the work. That is the first area of challenge. We finished the first quarter, and you will, that is why I'm saying there's just no way we can explain it. We finished it on a very, very bad start in terms of the department. We then sat and looked at the turnaround as a department and said, what would it take for us to try and make up between Q2 and Q3 so that we catch up both in expenditure and in our performance in ensuring that the areas that we didn't perform, we are able to. There are key programs that I think you would see, and the colleagues will agree. I think you would have seen, for example, in program 4, the mass participation we had, because some of it we needed us to, it's monies that are coming, we needed to advertise, we needed to get people in. We are stuck on this side, so we will start. We worked out how we, as soon as we get the approvals in Q2, we're going to make up. And our plan was to say by the time we finish at least the first month of Q3, we should be able to catch up and be able to report. But in Q2, you'll see the improvement that we try to push around that time. So I think I want to give that background. The second background is that without a structure, a finalized structure and approved structure, it meant the full measure had not happened. Full measure meaning everybody has been placed and matched, which is the process that we are only able to start now. We also, you raised the issue of vacancies, which had been going on for a year. You will understand that these were from the 2021-22, they had looked for approval to fill these vacancies because they were affecting our delivery. We did not get that approval, but they also had a reason. They did not want us to duplicate once we were merged. So the issue was going to one department, look at your functioning as one department, only then that we should go back to finance, treasury, and OTP and say, now that we've merged, we've seen how the interim structure looks like and how we are feeling, then we'll be able to know that when we fill the post, we are filling the post and advertising the post, that we will not find ourselves with people who are sitting outside the structure. So that has, in the meantime, what we've done in Q2 again was to then fast track those approvals so that at least we can be able to look at the vacancies being filled. The honorable members, I can report that we now have the approval from both Treasury and OTP in terms of that, whilst we will be running it concurrently, also placing and matching so that we don't lose time because of the time that we've lost. And I think you'll be seeing those in a phased approach. There were 79 posts, and that is the level of vacancy that we were having that got approved. And we will be filling them in a phased approach, though, because we can't do it at once in terms of what we are trying also to place and match. So I think that is the second area that had been raised, where we are trying to say those were the challenges that we faced. And the second, the next point around obviously the AG's report, we've looked at it from a risk management, the internal control, and we've put them down the team, and we are really looking at each of those areas that have been raised by AG to be able to say, how are we doing in that, including the expenditure itself? Are we expending in the right? And we are also reviewing some of the areas around investigations that have been done, following up. Some of them are sitting with OTP, some of them. So I think when we bring that report, it would also be a bit better, including our own internal control and the risk on the work that they are doing for us to be doing that. But also what we've realized is that because it's historical, some of the things we are not able to figure out where it went wrong. We've also, on some of the areas that have been on weakness, we've also asked Treasury to say, can we start from a simple audit? Can we just understand what transpired? Because if you get there and someone says, no, we did everything, you are not able at this level to just make a decision. So I think some of them are in investigation. Some of them we've agreed that we'll be looking at auditing them and seeing what would have transpired in those cases. But on the reports that you are requiring, honorable members, particularly around Utungulu, Winston Church, Eve, and Dubudu, I think when I came in as well, I found that those were the hot ones, and we did put the team to be able to look at it and allocated officials to be helping us, especially around Dugu, which, yes, honorable members, I fully concur. You had been promised April before we came. It was July. And then at this point, we are sitting at 95%. We have looked at how do we resolve it, because it's just that last finish mile with the contractor that has not been able to, but the colleagues will be able to give the full report. But I think if we bring all those reports to the members on the different areas that you raised as witnesses, because we know them and they've been raised and constantly raised. So the easiest is to say, on this area, this is what we are doing. In this area, in these projects, we bring back those reports. Honorable member is right. Even we did bring the report in the last one to say this. And we did go, honorable members, I did go myself as well, just to have an understanding of saying, how are these looking like? Why are these issues? So I think we will be able to bring those reports into the portfolio. Members, I would ask colleagues, particularly the two CFOs, where we raise issues around some of the findings on the closeout report, because they would have dealt with more of them. We also have colleagues from the infrastructure who would assist us on where we are. We took some of the work around what has been raised, GDG, yeah. So I'll hand over to CFOs and all the let's go.
Can switch off. For the members, can I propose if they can finish us with those questions raised with the written report as to how they intended to improve the issues raised. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I think that is very progressive. I agree with you, but I want to make an addition to Person 3 HOT to say, we are the colleagues, in the slow and the Olympic message. Who basically believes that is in it. And the one at the show, and KwaZulu report meeting, you did not give people money because they did not comply. Whose job is it to make them comply? And on the end, you can't work like things are normal. Things are normal. If it means that they work on Saturdays, totally low. Never spend on Sunday, I was on Sunday. Never spend on 12 so one excel, I was 7 excel. Don't report to us that you did not give people money because they did not comply. Make them comply. You must need a thing that better. I want to go and do your work. That is what we're asking, Chair. So, and lastly, Chair, if Dr. Ngo, through your leadership, look at the quick wins. When you look at all these targets, look at the quick wins where you have got backlogs. So that when you come back, at least you have closed the gap, put in. Look at this, the man doesn't just put his no, you can't bend us. We are not bended. Thanks, Chair.
Short isikhathi sesiyasishaya.
Kodwa abanye awusho. Ukuthi uma kunjalo bengisacela ukuthi uma sithole imibuzo sifunda la sifunda futhi phansi.
Mina sicela ngifuna ukusekela usihlala sesipilo ukuze nathi singazithuki sesingene kule queue ukuhlala sikhuluma ngezinto ezingenalutho ezibhaliwe aziphendule izibhalo ukuze sibe nakubona ngazuthi kunohide lezi ezingaqedwa ziba neyithembiso kuphela siyabonga.
Siyabonga bahlonishwa. Can move to Amafa. I'm giving you 15 minutes. must try to be brief. Yes.
I'm a professor. I'm a good. It's looking at. Oh, I didn't deal with that. I don't know. Oh, that's not KwaZulu-Natal. Massive. Hamba ngakinye kuyenza lento. Oh,
Good afternoon. Members, I will try to be very I prepared this presentation knowing with the former members that it's a new committee. So, and it's we immediately presentation to members. Also, let me make a disclaimer. There will be a reason why members may not have presentation only because we were only informed about it that we have to do this presentation. So hence, not presented. So let me start by indicating that the previous financial year was not an easy one. We were also hit hard by COVID-19, unrest in July, and some of our indicators were not achieved. Out of 20 indicators that we had, we achieved 19. It's only one indicator that we did not achieve. The indicator that's required that we open heritage sites that we've done. So because the was with this my numbers are not want to waste July for the people. So we decided that this low indicator that we achieved all of them. In fact, in most of the indicators that we had, we overachieved. I also want to is at the beginning that AMAPA have a reputation of field audits, but last year we had unqualified audit. The issue that caused the unqualified audit, not a field audit, was that the new AG was concerned that because we had always regarded ourselves as a small entity without a supply chain unit established. So the new AG raised the fact that that was not allowed. We needed to establish a new SCM unit within the organization. So as a result of that, we then requested. But also what we've done at first, we've established the SCM unit in the office of the SCM, in the office of the CFO. We started the process of functioning it. It's staffed by competent people. We're going through necessary training. We've also invited the internal audit to come and audit the processes as we were starting. But also we've invited the Auditor General to come and do a preliminary audit so that our intention would be we want to improve our audit outcome because it talks to the confidence that we want our people to have. So AG has assured me that by the end of this month and early December, they will be descending to our offices to do a preliminary audit. And the way
kind of shocked ukuthi ngubani umuntu obizwa ngo-dictator again. Because it's unfortunate because we want him in and we believe it. This is our vision, but crucial for this is this is what we want to achieve. We want to ensure that societies are connected. We want to build these bonds through our work. So this is our program structure. Program 1, program 2, and program 4 is a new process next week. And having interviews to capacitate and staff. Program 4, and my colleagues are telling me that the interviews that we're going to be having will start from 5 o'clock until around 10 o'clock in the evening, because we don't have time and trying to do as much as we could. And in terms of our government and government, we as indicated, there's only one target that is not achieved, but because of now how our percentages are calculated, it says 90.7%, but ideally, I believe we set the target, I am 100% patient, so this was not good enough for me. And this is how our targets were achieved. Targets that we did not achieve is under program 3. Some of the key highlights, we come from a situation where we used to take about 90 days to consider heritage applications. These are applications for structures that are over 60 years. And when the complaints are called from the developers complaining about that, with clear effect of we cut that from 90 days to 14 days. So normally in 14 days, we consider an application. And if there are no issues, we grant a development approval. That is crucial for us as part of the government. Especially construction. So we are a bottleneck. So it was important that we create a bottleneck so that we can say to the investor that KwaZulu-Natal is open for investment. And it's great. And just on the top of my mind, think of a project in Ego. Proposal for over 250 million for private company. So we considered that application within 10 days. That was very crucial because had we not done that, they could have been delays, they would have lost investment. So doing that, to me, is one of the. We've also raised and prepared the following site as for rehabilitated sites. The Honorable Delay, a very important site for the liberation struggle. Last public space where the former President Nelson Mandela spoke in public, the Makamuzela Kamile mountain across the Kamatila Mountain, which is social, the people and some of our sales mission. Also nominated following sites to become national heritage sites, part of our strategy to increase the number of national heritage sites in this province. We are the second biggest province in terms of the numbers, but we also have a handful of national heritage sites. So I've been telling my colleagues at the impact space that we need to see a lot of investment in heritage. So the following has been nominated to be national heritage site. The site related to his own Makuani in the Insha Memorial, Kwatubuza. This is a very important site, and national holiday based on this site. And great site of Henry Winsema. And those who may want to know the Winsema is a very important personality in Sokoto. We also need 17 ancestral markers, including this website. So our corner elegant deputy was done by also including the memorial for there was a lot of work supporting Sarah, the initial body, towards the rehabilitation of the Gerikwara Memorial National Heritage Site. We go through working for Minister and the NEC to take up direction on when that is done. The this, we indicated how formed it is also maintained together with the offense of indicators. If you look here, a lot of imbalances, 4 plus 18, plus 11, plus 13. So these are the things that we need extra within current economic policy. In terms of the finance summary, let me also want to spend 90% of our budget. We were planning to spend 100%, but because of the Concord judgment in February, so we had to abide by that. And so what we didn't spend was less than $1 million. Key highlights, I think I can also, it's the main focus, the outcomes, our main focus, the education policy, also our key focus, regional, growing initiatives, fundings, working with different disciplines, to show that heritage is not just a matter of the aims and social provisions, but it's a matter of the present pattern. Increasing speed, possible expectations, also want to transform the heritage sector. One of the projects that we are working with the legislature is the removal of the statues of in Victoria and the who said the organization. So we are keen to see heritage and secretary transformed and supported. And also one of the key issues that we've added in our APP that we want to pay our service provider within 5 days. Currently we still pay them within 3 days, but we want to improve that so that with the quality of process. So we're a small organization, we can do it. We're able to. So that is the one of the thoughts, and in terms of now the first quarter, I'm not working on my PC. One of the key things that we were able to negotiate with our department members of the board of the council, remember that we usually have a problem with each transfer payment day in a cover on time. So we agreed with from 2020 to 2023, it will be paid as a one-off flat. Yes, still are full because the interest that is generated from that is capitalized and that interest using it made them problems in the no services. During, I need to say this, the first quarter is largely an insertion quarter. We achieved 100% for our performance, all of them were in, and we then did some social programs, and for example, the youth day that we had, and only. We were the first days, we had that with the youth forum, and we only spent 2,000 rand on this. For some artists, and the prayer, loaf of bread and pollution. But give him a Zachariah Plaza, with 70 loaves of bread and pollution, let all participants and the support in the whole 10,000. That's what it means to us when we say we are the one to build forms among and we also provide special advice to South African Wildlife Conservation also get in the process. And we're having a web-heritage site nomination. There's a web-heritage site coming, and in this process, hopefully in the next 3-4 years, we're going to have the 11 weapons type in the country. We also created 122 short-term rental facilities. This is where we have sites. This last year, close to 1 week average kind of opportunities. And it talks to the maintenance and the driving and whatever is associated. This is the background, the detailed background and what we achieved. See, we were planning to achieve 40, but we were able to deliver 122. And one of the reasons why we went ahead with that, even though it was meaning that there's more money required, because from now, the one charge that we received, when we projected it, going to give us about 1.5 million of each. That money will now in terms of the finance and aspect, our expenditure as I indicated is our quarter one, the injection at core. We spend 18.59%. We know, but also I need to declare in the second quarter was saying kind of expenditure. And the reasons did not want, because we could see that age went up, and we did not want to continue the expenditure massively while the Bunama issue that we needed to solve. So even in the second quarter, our expenditure was still very low, and we've agreed with the audit committee that we're going to be monitoring this. And as we talk now, we have one weekly financial facility where we improve the expenditure. So even though as of the second quarter, we're still below 50%, but we are going to improve because I didn't want the organization to continue to spend disregarding what the AG is saying. We wanted to put system spend as agreed with the AG and thereafter ensure we spend it. I think, yeah, so Chair, let me stop there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Namafa. Is there any comment or members? And on Olu and Kawu.
For me, just a comment. It was very important. The incident did well.
Kodwa khona amabhilidi asabalindele bangayiko abantu.
Ukuthi wayentweni mnandi ekuthekweni.
Awuhlala.
Thanks for the presentation, Amafa. We were talking about it with the Honorable Sonjika, the issue of maintenance of the sites. If we can attend to that, because we will talk more on the issue of cultural tourism. But if your sites are not properly maintained, then it defeats the purpose. I can look into that and see to that you ask for money and exam you so that you are able to perform. Because the maintenance issue is an issue, I know from practical experiences. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, from members. Eshoge and team. I'm speechless. Then was with my members. Then was with abanine blooms. Okukana yabona as one of the raise her concern that it is the business of the day that we always get such a report. We don't want to get such a report. A big walking. Yeah. I'm sure you will respond to the question raised and submit to coordinator. All members will get those response from the coordinator before the end of this week. Next week, I'm sorry, next week. All members, the department, see about that. Thank you very much. The meeting adjourned. Thank you. There is a last.
Barangene emhlanganweni ka-3. Siyabonga. Kusho usihlalo wekomiti ukuthi